Hello everybody, welcome to the OneCraft Developer Diary Blab Fest. And I want to talk about a few things. I really don't know how good this is going to be. I have been reinvigorated to do development and things are kind of moving along. You guys have seen, if you've seen my Let's Play, you know that I was having a little bit of fun just chilling out and messing around in that world, but trying to really get an idea of what kind of things I think would be fun and what I want to do next. And so anyway, a couple of things I want to talk about today. I have made some progress. Like I said, I am kind of reinvigorated a little bit, but let's do this. I'll get rid of some of this stuff. It's really hard. I don't like creative mode. I'm not good at managing it. All right, I'll talk to you about some stuff. So this right here is new. Yes, it looks an awful lot like this, and yes, I actually made it from scratch. I didn't just take this and use it, but it turned out an awful lot like that. It's the mixer. We'll talk about that in a minute. This is a blast furnace, but first I want to show you a couple things. So OMG It's Rebirth is a guy that contacted me, watches the show. I think it's a guy. I'm assuming. No offense either way. But I'm pretty sure. And made some textures and wanted me to try them out. So actually it's funny because I don't have all of them here, which I usually do. Let's grab this. I think that's it. The rest of them you can see right here. So this is Scorched Earth, and this is the Scorched Earth texture that he came up with. I actually haven't responded, and I'm sorry. I might as well talk directly to you. I'm sorry because I haven't actually responded. I tried them out. I had been, it's just been hectic. I've had sick kids. We've had kids with the flu this week. Two of them. One of them got sick last Sunday, and then one of them got sick during the week, and it's been a mess of bodily functions and whatever. And then I got sick on Thursday night, and you probably can tell I'm still sick, but anyway, so I've been sick of sitting around the house. This is what I've been doing. So anyway, this is the dirt texture. I haven't got a chance to respond. I like it. I think I would rather it be a little blacker and less red. It looks very kind of like actively scorched, like on fire. I think I would like to see it a little blacker, but anyway, it's something to work with. It's definitely better than the one I had. It was horrible. This is the new meteorite ore. I like that, actually. It looks like it's got like a little bit of a... I just like that. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I do. I like it, and it gives off light. I think this could be tweaked. I haven't, like I said, I haven't responded at all to even work with this one yet, or this person yet, but I'm really thankful to have these. And then this was the copper ore. I actually think I like my copper ore better, because I think I basically darkened the rock, and then I took a diamond ore and just copied it and covered it with the green. I can't even remember what it looks like because I've been using these textures for a while now, but I think I remember liking it, comparing the two together. You guys can tell me what you think. That's just a little too vanilla, and it's not enough. I wanted it to be a little scorched because it's only going to be found in these craters right now. So that's one thought. Maybe something more like this with green. Yeah, maybe exactly like that, kind of the blacker, although not quite that. I don't know, because we want that to stand out. Anyway, just some thoughts. Oh, and then the one other thing is, I think I have it in here. Yeah, the rough copper ingot. This is his version of the rough copper ingot, which I actually like quite a bit. I took mine out. Mine was a little too shiny for a rough copper, so that's that. Anyway, that's enough about the textures. We'll talk about those more and do more with those later. But yeah, so thank you very much. I will respond. I'm sorry I haven't done that. These craters are all jacked up, if I remember, because I was having trouble with my craters for a while, and then I finally got it working. I had trouble with the 1.5 update, but I think I talked about that last time. So let's get on with it. A couple things I want to talk about. This is the blast furnace. Right now, this is kind of the way it looks. How you craft that? Let's see if I can pull it off. I think I need some brick blocks. Oops. So let's see if I can actually do this. I think what I have right now for the... Yeah, so that's it. So it's just like that. Very simple. Oh, I think I actually gave it a... Yeah, it doesn't stack because I'll talk about that in a minute. Actually, there's a reason for that. But anyway, and so what you do is you put it down. So let's go ahead and knock a couple of those off. I guess I better get these back out. So you knock a couple of those off, you put it down. And this is, again, remember, very, very early in the stages of this. But structure is incomplete. And this just shows you this is what it should look like from the top, and this is what it should look like from the front. So anyway, we put one more in here. Still going to be incomplete. Now, if we put one in there and go look, it's still incomplete. It's actually complete, but I'm only checking every 5 seconds, I think, right now. There we go. So it switched over. And actually, that's not a really good thing because now it shows you this, but I have to go back into it to get the actual slots for crafting and stuff. But so anyway, I have it at 5 seconds because I just wanted to see if it was possible to have it check, because right now I can break a block and then I could use it for 5 more seconds or sometime between 0 and 5 seconds, and then it's going to go back to incomplete, but the slots are still there. It wouldn't actually function in this stage, but anyway, so it's a little ghetto, but I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to handle that. I'll probably like recycle it. So I'll deal with that. But anyway, you guys get the general idea. So anyway, a couple of things. I've just been messing with this. It's not really close to done even, but let's see, don't I have any iron? I don't think I do. Let's grab a couple just to show you. It actually doesn't have any valid recipes at all right now. What it has is a piece of iron, and I think I've got a 1-to-1 ratio. I changed all of the, yeah, it's just a 1-to-1. What will be interesting though, and actually I should have changed this because I actually have the item created. It's going to put coal and zinc. This is going to be steel and slag. I actually have slag in here. Yeah, it's right there, slag pile. And I just made some crappy icons for that and for the stone pile, which I'll talk about in a minute. But anyway, so this will output iron and a slag pile, and the slag pile will be used for something. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyway, so that's that. It's going to have this whole, the whole idea of kind of crafting furnace-y thing, where you'll have to have different combinations of things sometimes, and there will sometimes be a secondary output. I'm probably going to make it take a certain type of coal. I think I'm going to have the idea of a coke oven or something, maybe, where you have to process coal to get to this point. I would really like to have to process coal and get a new type of fuel, but I don't know, we'll see. Or at least make it way more efficient. You have to have like 2 or 4 coal or something, just make it totally inefficient to do it this way. Yeah, so what else? So that's the blast furnace. I'm thinking possibly about making it taller. The reason most people I think do make it taller and maybe even kind of wider, like usually you see the one in Industrial Craft, or I think it's Industrial Craft, is like this. It's a 4x4. Mine's not even a 3x3. So this is what you would see in Industrial Craft. Or again, I keep saying Industrial Craft. Might be Greg Tech or whatever it is. But like that, which is cool. And it would be kind of cool to make it take a lot. What I was thinking about was making like the first level of this thing take only iron blocks on the bottom and then brick everywhere else. The thing is, brick is probably almost as hard to get as iron. To make that many brick blocks takes a lot of work. You might as well just go mining a little bit, but it would be definitely, considered cheaper, I think. So I might do that. I might make it so that the first layer is that, and then iron, and then brick, and then when you get to the second level or the next level of blast furnace, you would keep the iron base and then put steel. Like you'd be working your way up to steel because you're going to have this thing to create steel, obviously. So anyway, just something to think about. But right now it just has to look like this. It's very simple. And it's not, I just wanted to get, really the reason I started doing it was I wanted to, I wanted to get my strategy to like built structures figured out. So how I was going to deal with that. And I figured I know how I'm going to do it now. So at least I can do it. Okay. Next is this mixer thing. It's got no textures at all. It's basically sharing the same texture file as that thing, is the rock crusher, and which is just a solid texture file. I'm going to make it so that the blade is a little different. I'm probably going to come back and work on the models. I'm happy with this model. I like it a lot. I'm relatively happy with this, although I know I got to fix the belt drive thing, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, or what I'm going to do. I'm not totally happy with this. I am happy with this. So those three, or those two for sure, that's okay. I'll probably come back to it, but I really just want to get a playable version of things, and then we'll move forward. But anyway, okay, so let's see. Let's talk about how to make that. So it's pretty basic. I'm these are pretty temporary recipes. It's just a simple matter of Oh, there we go. I was going to say, it seems right. So this is, those are going to get out of control if I have too many of them. They don't really make any sense. I'm going to probably have to do something else about that. But anyway, so that's a mixer casting mold. And then what do I do with this thing? I don't remember. You take this, you put an iron block in or something like that with some coal. And then, yeah. And then that'll turn into the actual mixer cast frame. And then I'm going to show you guys something that I hadn't shown before. I'm sorry, this is a total just kind of like just blaze through it. But I talked about something before, and I haven't actually shown it. The thing I think I was talking about was the idea of the enchantments or whatever. So you can see I actually have, there's just kind of a hidden slot here. That is for just me to show you something. So if there's things in here, it's going to act the way I want it to in a predictable fashion, which means I can basically get the idea of craftsmanships, which is kind of like an enchantment, right? So if I take this and I put it in, I can't remember exactly what it is. This one's actually, no, this isn't a good example. Well, let me just go ahead and show you. To make this, you just takes three rough copper ingots and the mixer cast frame. Why doesn't that work? Oh no, and a zinc ingot. That's a totally temporary recipe. But anyway, that gives you a mixer. So not that big of a deal and not that impressive. So let me get rid of these for now. Okay. So what is interesting though, because I didn't implement the enchantments, it actually did get an enchantment. That's why it wouldn't stack, because I have it set up to get one. But I wanted to show you the rock crusher because I actually have it working on there. So if I put anything other than a piece of zinc ore pile in here, I'm going to get one type of enchantment, which is this one. And then if I put, instead of that, if I put a zinc ore pile in there and build another one, I'm going to get, I can't remember which enchantment is which, but anyway, I'm going to get another one. So if we put these down, put one of them there and one of them there, which one is which? This one is the slow and steady, and you can see I didn't even change the way this is displayed. So that has the slow and steady enchantment, and this one has, what? The slow and steady enchantment? Did I mess it up? It's very possible that I did. No, that one's well-oiled. Why was that one? I must have put the same one down twice. Let's see which slot this goes into. Didn't go into either slot. Oh, I don't know. That one's well-oiled. That one's slow and steady. That's all that really matters. Okay, so let me show you. So this one is, let's do the well-oiled first. The well-oiled, if I put a piece of skarn ore in there and crank on it, all it's going to do is, well, it's going to go fast. And I should hook it up to a steam engine, but I don't want to. So it went really fast. Twice as fast, actually. I think maybe 1.5 times as fast as normal, but it goes fast. Here, this will give you an idea. It's a lot slower. So we crank about the same amount of time, or maybe even a little longer, and we'll be nowhere near done. So yeah, about 2/3. So anyway, this one's slow and steady, but slow and steady gives you, or maybe I was going to make it slow but sure or something. Anyway, it doubles the output. So if you happen to get this enchantment, it will take you longer. Actually, I didn't decrease the speed. I need to do that. Anyway, make a note. Because what I wanted to do was take a slight bit longer, but increase the output. And still make it worth it. Like, you would still get more out of your materials. So it would depend. You would want to have one like that if you had a bunch of materials and you just really wanted to get them. And you would make one like this if you just really wanted to get at your stuff. So anyway, the rock crusher, yeah, I haven't worked out all the game mechanics. I mean, like I said, it gives you just a single copper pile. If you put iron ore in here, it's going to give you a single iron, but it's the additional things that you get that make it worth it, not that you're getting double your material, which I kind of like. You only get double your material if you happen to get a certain type of it. So anyway, I don't know. And right now that it's a 0.5% chance that you would get an enchantment. And right now, since I only have the 2 and I'm not really using any sort of weighting or anything, It's just a 5% chance that you get one at all, and if you get one, then it's a 50% chance that you get one or the other. So that applies to all of the machines right now that I have, which are, yeah, you've seen them. So anyway, let's see, what else? I think that's about it. I don't know how much else I have to talk about. So yeah, oh, the mixer, I guess that's the one thing. Oh, I do have something else interesting. So the whole point of why I decided to go with the mixer is because I've been playing in the LP world, and I've wanted to build something using one of my new blocks, and I want to make a really cool looking block, and one that has, you know, some dual purpose maybe and whatever. So one of the blocks that I decided to make was concrete, and I've talked about this before, but the process of having the mixer and all this stuff, I wanted to get to a concrete process. So to get concrete, you need to have, or no, that's supposed to say bag of cement, not bag of concrete. So this is going to be the process for making cement. For making cement, you're going to need clay. So basically the way I did it right now is you needed sodium silicate powder, clay, and paper. The paper was basically for wrapping. And then you have to crank this thing, right? So let's see. Oh, I've already got a crank on it. So let's crank it. And it doesn't have an enchantment. It's going to take a minute. So anyway, you're going to crank it, and you're going to come out with a bag of concrete. And it's supposed to be a bag of cement. So, oops, almost. There we go. So you get a bag of concrete, which is supposed to be a bag of cement. And then you're going to take a bag of cement, and you're going to put one, let's see, I can't remember the ratio. I think it's like 1, 2, and then like, I think it's going to be 2 gravel, 2 of the stone piles. I can't remember all of the materials. It's definitely gravel, stone, concrete, and water, I think is what I'm going to do, or cement and water. So you'll have to make the cement, and then you'll make, you'll put the cement and water and the stone and gravel in. And the stone is going to be this. The reason I'm using stone is because it's supposed to be a stone gravel aggregate. That's how you make concrete. And so I was thinking, like, let's see, put cobblestone. You guys probably remember me talking about this, but I really want a reason to, like, a good use for cobblestone. So if we crank this down, you're just going to see it's going to output. This one will actually double my output, so be really good for the concrete stuff. But there you go. So we got 2 of each of these, so then we end up getting 6 of those stone piles. And so you'll need a certain amount of those to make your concrete. So stone and gravel and cement and some water. And I have the ratio from some formula I found online. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do with that. I'm also going to make the recipe so that you can actually have this be stone as well. So, but yeah, so again, everything is very rusty right now. Like I haven't done any really. I wanted to give you guys an idea of what was going on. So the way I feel like I'm going right now is that I'm pretty much at a playable state with, although I haven't even gotten to the one main goal, which was to try to get steel to be able, and then make that carbon steel pickaxe to then go mine this stuff, because you can't mine this with anything in the game right now. I haven't made the tool yet. And the whole point was to get to steel so you could get there. At least now I have the ability to make, or once I get this implemented, I'll have the ability to make cement. So I'm really close. I mean, I've got everything in place. All I have to do is basically make a recipe for that and then make the block itself. And then the other thing I'm going to do is the slag. So one of the things people do is they put slag from like steel from blast furnaces. They put slag in with, and it's not just totally take slag and throw it into concrete, but there's a thing called Portland cement that they put it in with, and it makes it a much stronger material. And so I'm going to make the ability to make concrete, like Portland concrete or Portland cement or whatever, bricks with this added like reinforced, and so they'll just be like super strong, like blast bricks or something. And I'll make them something like as strong as obsidian or something like that. Maybe a little stronger, give something that's a little stronger than the base stuff in the game. And you could build with that, or I don't know a reason to have it. Like one of the reasons you have like the blast bricks or whatever in IC2, in Industrial Craft 2, is because if you have an explosion of a nuclear reactor, you can contain it or whatever. But oops. So anyway, just rambling. But those are the things I'm thinking about. So yeah, so I'm working on getting towards cement. I really need a good looking cement block, and I'm going to work on that. And then if anybody feels like submitting a texture for that, I would be happy to take a look at it. I'm not the best at it, but I do know what I want to see. And after putting some time into it, I think I can get it. But I would also love to see if somebody comes up with a great one that I just love. I'll just use it if they're happy with that or they're comfortable with that. But yeah, so I think I'm pretty much good. Where I'm at right now is that I'm going to take what I have, and I need to do a couple of things. I need to solidify some textures and models. Like this model is going to have to change, I think, or maybe not. I might make it kind of similar looking, and then just kind of make it unique with the texture itself. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of modularize this whole idea of these things fitting into the side. So like machines that need to be cranked have to have something that that the crank can connect to. And that's kind of why I went with this look. It's kind of a mix of these two, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That's really what this is. This one is a mix of those two, which is okay. If I had the right texture, it might be okay. So anyway, I'm going to texture those. I'm going to work on the models. I'm going to texture all my blocks and kind of work through that and I'll probably not work too much on these. These are looking okay, the ones I have in place right now. I don't think there's that. I mean, the only one that was horrendous was the scorched earth and really the meteorite ore. So Rebirth has helped me with that. And then I think even the gravel looks okay. I could probably work on that a little bit, but haven't done anything. The steam engine works. It's just not actually implemented. I don't have a model or anything for it. And I don't have a recipe for it in the game or an idea of how you're going to get to it. Definitely need some help on these. These probably need some help too. So again, I think Rebirth asked me to send him my textures, and I will do that just so he could work on them if just messing around. So anyway, I'll send those to you, Rebirth. So thank you. Anyway, and then the other thing I have to do is really solidify my code. I have a mess of stuff going on right now. I think there's a lot I could do to really make my life easier, to get a really good framework in place. Like I've started doing it a little bit, but I've started, kind of boiling things down to some of the base classes that I know I'm going to have for some of like my tile, like the OneCraft tile entity to use a lot of the common things that I have, like the networking and all of that stuff that's built in. I want to have a very clean interface for that, for the crafting, I have this whole idea of these persistent crafting containers, which, on a normal crafting table, you throw stuff in here, and when you leave, it gets spit out into the world. It's kind of more like the workbench or whatever it's called. I can't remember, from Red Power, where you have I think it's Red Power, where you have the crafting bench you can leave stuff in, right? So if I put stuff in here and I go away and I come back, so that's obviously necessary for something that has to work over time. You can see my shift click isn't working either, but that's very necessary for something that has to work over time. So like I couldn't like put this in here and then go crank on it and have the stuff fly out, right? So that's necessary anyway. But then it's also nice I might implement it here on this workbench as well. I just haven't done that yet. But so anyway, to make that easier on myself, I need, these persistent crafting containers, which have, some common. It was actually much more of a pain than you would think to get both the crafting matrix stuff and the persistent inventory to work together. So just something to throw out there, but anyway, and then kind of work on, I don't know, I got a lot of stuff to work on to make my life a lot easier. And I think once I get that, I can really start rolling with some of this stuff, because I've overcome many of the concerns that I had and the obstacles that I was facing. I've got the structure blocks, I've got multi-blocks, I've got, models and regular blocks and the, all the stuff that we talked about early on. I think I can start to really implement my vision for this, but I need to be able to play it and see it actually work and see what doesn't work and mess around with that. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to, and then not have the barriers of like, oh man, I got to go in and mess with that giant mess of code that I made. So I want to get it to where it's a joy to work with. And there's a lot that I've already identified. There's a lot I've actually already done, but a lot I've identified I could do. So anyway, I know I also have talked about doing some tutorials on this stuff, and I'm still going to do that. I just feel like it would be, hopefully I'll say this and then I won't do it, but I feel like it'd be wrong not to help a little bit, because it's really hard to get into, frankly. It's hard to jump in and start modding. At least it was for me, to learn all of it's one thing to just like kind of hop in and mess around and make some blocks and items and whatever, but if you want to do things that are more complex. Once you get the hang of it, like once you figure out some of the groundwork, it's really not that bad. I mean, it's just another program, kind of another API to learn. It's not super rocket science if you're not getting into the real low level rendering, or some of the world gen or other things, which probably is also not rocket science. I just haven't got into it. But it's not that intimidating once you get into it, but it was just, for some reason, it was very difficult to break some of those early barriers to some of the stuff that I wanted to learn, because I just couldn't find the obvious way. And the code is so, in some ways, difficult to read with variables being named var 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the comments sometimes help you and sometimes even mislead you. So it's really a little bit difficult to just go in and figure out. And now that I've gotten into it a little bit, I can read it, and I can work through things and figure it out a lot quicker. But I would like to try and help jumpstart some people if they are interested. So I might try to put together some tutorials. I just don't know when I'm going to have the time and motivation, frankly, to do that, but I'll work on it. So anyway, sorry to keep blabbing. I'm going to take off now. If you guys are enjoying these, please leave a thumbs up. And like it or whatever, I don't know. And follow me on Twitter, MinecraftOTB. And yeah, I look forward to hearing your comments. And again, sorry about the delay and the absence, but I'm back at it. We'll see how long this lasts. I'm trying to make something that's actually going to turn into a game and be fun. At the very least, I'm learning a lot, and it's interesting for me. So hopefully I can continue on and get some help from you guys and get some feedback, and we'll get something released that you guys can play with in the next couple of weeks and see where it goes from there. So I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.